anyhow, letting you know about some events we have going on this next week. Right. So just give out some dates and times, and I'll put a link down below later where I created an event within Facebook so you can go and find out all this information. I'm going to run some tours, live tours of Fantasy Grounds, concentrating mostly on the 5th edition rule set. But if other questions come up about Fantasy Grounds that I can answer, I'll do so. But I'm planning on running a couple times on Tuesday, also a couple times on Saturday, and then of course on Friday night. It'll be 2-hour sessions. People can log into Fantasy Grounds and speak with me using TeamSpeak, because I run a server. If you sign up for the event, I will get you that information to connect via Fantasy Grounds and TeamSpeak 3. We'll get you all set up and installed and whatnot. But I'll go through such things as showing you how easy it is to create characters using the 5th edition rule set. Also, how you can level up your characters, kind of go over some of the other various things like how modules work, library, how the dice works, and changing your dice. I think I'm going to mainly focus on the player inside, but if I get a lot of DMs that hop on and want to talk to me about doing some things on the DM side, I'll answer those questions as well. The reason I'm doing this is I've noticed when I'll put up any games or whatnot, there's a lot of people that are interested, but a lot of people are intimidated because it is something new that they've never experienced, and they're not sure. They got to install Fantasy Grounds, install TeamSpeak. How do you create a character? And so I hope I can use this tour to break those people in that are interested in running Fantasy Grounds games. It's a pretty good system. I think just about everyone who has ever played has good things to say about it, so it's pretty handy. It's also really virtual tabletops are also really good for those people that don't have access to face-to-face games. So therefore, you have to play online with people from all over the world, which in itself can be quite intimidating. The other good thing about it, like with Fantasy Grounds, is if you do buy into the actual licenses, it costs you some money, a one-time cost. And within the 5th edition, like if you wanted to get the player pack, you'd have to pay for like the player's handbook and the monster manual, unless you parse it yourself, which you can do. I've done it. You can do it too. It takes quite a bit of work. You got to be pretty dedicated, but you can do it. It won't cost you anything. But those people, there's some people that don't have the time to put into parsing and marking up code in order for the program to grab it and put it into format. So Fantasy Grounds made it available where instead of you parsing it yourself, you can actually pay them, and they create the program and they already parsed it into a digital format. So in a sense, with Fantasy Grounds, you can have your player's handbook and your monster manual all within Fantasy Grounds. So you don't actually have to have your player's handbook with you, or even a player's handbook. You could just buy it through Fantasy Grounds, and you can find all the information that's in here within it. Same thing with the monster manual. Now, they do not have the DMG, and I'm not sure, quite honestly, if they'll incorporate a lot of the options to be automated within Fantasy Grounds, because there's some interesting and significant changes for a lot of those options. But who knows? Maybe. But within Fantasy Grounds, they do have a certain amount of automation. A lot of it's not. You could turn off that automation if you don't want it. You don't have to use maps and tokens. You can use it for theater of the mind, and just use the Dice Roller app, and also for storing characters and information for your campaign and stories and whatnot. So you can get both aspects there. And then if you do some crazy stuff for your campaigns, it's not that hard to manually put that in there. Like if you wanted to put in a manual stat for sanity or an honor score or something like that, there's not a field for it like the other 6, but nothing says you can't go into the notes section of the character sheet and put in your sanity score and stuff like that. So but anyhow, I'll be running this next week, so I'm not going to be running any actual games this next week. My focus is entirely on running this live tour for folks that want to check out Fantasy Grounds or have questions. So it'll be live. I'll be answering questions for those people that are interested in participating, and I'll also stream it here on the Twitch channel for those of you who can't make it and want to see what all happened or what questions were asked or whatnot. If you can't make it, but you do have some questions, go ahead and sign up on the link anyways. You could put like maybe instead of going, and then go ahead and type out your question, and then during the live events I'll go ahead and try to go through all those questions and answer it, and then that way later down the line, like whenever you get home, because most of these videos I shoot through the stream of Twitch, and then I later put it over on my YouTube channel. So then that way later on you can go to the YouTube channel, you can watch the session or the live tour, and you can get the answer to your question. So anyhow, I will talk to you all later. Happy gaming.